Hello everyone, welcome back to our subject Child and Adolescent Development, and we are now in Module 8 in which we will discuss about the microcosm of the children and adolescent. And of course, at the end of our lesson, we will learn more rights, including how it affects our lives and how it protects us. And here are the topic included: human rights, children's rights, Filipino children's rights, the rights of Filipino children, laws and issuances on Filipino children, government and non-governmental agencies and institutions. Okay, what is human rights? These are rights which are inherent to the human being. It is also universal, indivisible, interdependent, and interrelated. It is also the fundamental for development, democracy, and security. So we are all equal. There is equality on these human rights. And these human rights are our shield because it protects us. It protects us to live freely, to live with dignity, to live our life, to live uh, uh, with our right for security and freedom. And of course, we have these human rights because each one of us has the right to be respected. Because, of course, we are all human beings. Next, we have children's right. We have two two children's right here according to the human rights. We have civil and political rights that protect individual freedom and participation in decision making process of the community, and those relate to freedom of thought, opinion, and religion. Okay, this right protect individuals from the infringement or violation of our government and from uniform personnel. Like for example, if an individual was accused, he or she has a right to have a fair trial because of this right. Next, economic, social, and cultural rights that achieve a minimum standard of living, food, healthcare, and ensure a share in country's welfare, employment, and education. This is why, if you notice, we have public schools, so that we can have public high schools and public elementaries, public markets, public hospitals, public birthing centers, and public clinics. This is the we have the right to access those because of this right: economic, social, and cultural rights. Now we have what we call children's rights. We have four here. And what is children's rights? These are a set of entitlements for all children enshrined in the UNCRC, or United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child. We have the first one: right to survive. Okay, during calamities, earthquakes, floods, we have the right to be rescued. Why? Because we have the right to survive. Right to be safe. This is why we have uniformed personnel like the armed forces and the police guarding us, protecting our community because we have the right to be safe. Right to belong. Okay, we stay in our country because we have the right to belong. Like for us, we call ourselves as Filipinos because we are living in Philippines, and we have the right to belong to our country, Philippines, because that is our country. Next, right to develop. In this right to develop, we have the right to attain our ambition. We have the right to pursue whatever we want to be because we have the right to develop. If we want to become a doctor, we have the right. If we want to be a teacher, we have the right. If we want to be a businesswoman, a leader like a mayor, governor, or whatsoever, we have the right. Next, we have four principles that, of course, underpin the children's right. We have the non-discrimination. In this non-discrimination, all children have the same right to develop their potential in situations at all times. Okay, the example for this one: before. Okay, before, female are not allowed to go to school. And now both males and females are now going to school. So whatever gender, whatever races, whatever ethnicity, whatever religion, whatever races you came from, you have uh, equal right to access education. Yeah, equal right to like before even, if you notice, there are kings and leaders are only men, but now there are also now women, like the Queen of England and other president of the nation. Next, we have the best interest of the child must be a primary consideration in all actions and decisions concerning a child and must be used to resolve conflicts between different rights. Okay, we have an example for this one. If a parents of a child will separate, of course, there is a law that 1 to 7 years old children will stay to the custody of their mother. But the court must also look into it if the mother can provide basic necessities of the child. And if the mother cannot provide, the court will do an order that the father will take the custody. So in that situation or in that scenario, as we can see, the best interest of the child is their primary decision. Next, we have the right to survive and development. Underscores the vital importance of ensuring access to basic services and to the equality of opportunity for children to achieve their full development. Okay, as we mentioned last module, those children with special needs or those exceptional learners, they have the right to develop. Why? Because of this right. That is why we give them special education. Next, the views of the child. The voice of the child must be heard and respected in all matters. As you notice in schools, this is why we have a student body organization or student body councils in schools, in universities, and in colleges. Why? Because these students are the leaders who will voice out what the student needs in the school. And next, we have now goals in teaching children with their rights. As they said, the best way to protect our children is to know their rights. But of course, teaching their rights, we must also to teach them that every right has its own limitation. We have developed intercultural understanding. Also, they will develop meaning this is to let them be ready, okay, to adjust in accordance of what cultures does the other nation or other places has, builds social skills, or they will connect easily for them to mingle with other person if they know their rights, of course. Develops ethical understanding, of course. This is how do they act, what will be their behavior to other people. Creates a safe motivates student learning. Okay, motivates student learning in a way like, for example, those children who came from low income families, they motivate student learning by how they will study harder to pass the exam for the scholarship grants, and of course for them to finish a degree. Next, creates a safer school. In this one, if the we tell our children to let them know that bullying, violence, vandalizing is a crime, okay, of course, uh, it will affect the school. This means that there will be a safe in school in which they have every student respect each other. Next, children realize their rights and powers children to become active citizen. Okay, next, we have the Filipino children's rights. Okay, to be born, to have a name and nationality. Okay, this is the reason why abortion is prohibited in the Philippines, and also it's a crime. To be free to have a family who will take care of him or her. So childless parents can, this is why childless parents can adopt kids because of those kids have this right. They have a good education. This is why we have public schools to develop your potential. Okay, this is what I'm telling you a while ago. We have the right to get or to attain our ambition. So enough food, shelter, a healthy and active body. There are even some public gyms for this one. To be given the opportunity to play and leisure, we have public parks. To be given protection against abuse, danger, and violence brought about by war and conflict. This is why some refugees have housing projects of the government that they will go in. Their shelter is provided by the government, and they have even some free access to education in which they will have even free food and clothing. Next, to live in a peaceful community. This is why I'm telling you a while ago that uniformed personnel, the armed forces, and the police taking care of our town, taking care of us, so that we are safe from any harm and terrorists. To be defended and assisted by the government and to be able to express your own views, or this is what we call freedom expression. Next, we have the laws and issuances on Filipino children. We have the Executive Order 209, Family Code of the Philippines. We have the Republic Act, the new Civil Code. We have the RA or Republic Act of 9255, an act allowing illegitimate children use the surname of their father. Also, don't be surprised if your stepbrother or stepsister and your father will now use their your the same surname because of this law. Next, RA number 10627, Anti-Bullying Act. So bullying is now a crime. Don't bully. And bullying, even now, even posting in Facebook the name of that person. If you did not yet proven if whatever he did or she did, don't post, because that is now also a type of anti-bullying. RA 6655, Free Public Education Act. This is why we have even the TESDA. RA 6972, Barangay Daycare Law. This is why every barangay now have a daycare center. RA 7277, Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. RA 7323, Summer and or Christmas Employment for Poor Students, or we have working students. Next, we have RA 7610, Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. We have RA 7624, an act integrating drug prevention and control curricula. RA 8044, the Youth and Nation Building Act in 1995. We have RA 8504, AIDS Prevention and Control Act of 1988. We have the RA 8353, Anti-Rape Law of 1997. We have the RA 8980, Early Childhood Care and Development Law. RA 9208, Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003. RA 9262, Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. This is a very common in Rafi Tulfo Action Program, in which those exploited, abused, and maltreated the women and children, this is the law covering them. Next, we have RA 9344, Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006. Executive Order number 56, authorizing the Ministry of Social Services and Development to take protective custody of child prostitutes and sexually exploited children and for other purposes. We have the proclamation number 731, declaring the second week of February or every year as National Awareness Week for the prevention of child sexual abuse and exploitation. We have the last one, proclamation number 267, declaring October as National Children's Month. And we have here also government and non-government agencies in the Philippines, in which they will help the maltreated, the at-risk children, and even those exceptional children. Okay, we have the first one, Council for the Welfare of Children, or CWC. We have also the Department of Social Works and Development. That is why we have a daycare center. And even for this one, for the DSWD, the program for this one is also the 4Ps or the Pamilyang ay Pantawid the Pamilyang Filipino program. And we have also Department of Education. That is why I'm telling you a while ago, we have the scholarship grants and we have the TESDA. Bahay Tuluyan, Bantay Bata, this is from the ABS-CBN and UNICEF Philippines. So these are agencies that working with children in need of special attention, and they work to prevent and respond, of course, to the abuse and violence against children. And this is now our end of the topic, which is the Module 8. Hope to see you again on Module 9. And I will tell you something. The references from of Module 1 until Module 8 will be seen on Module 9. Hope to see you again next module. Thank you for listening. Bye.